coming into the ground, there's probably still 1,000 or more people that haven't actually got inside the ground at the moment. It's quite a nice crowd on a very warm night down here on the banks of Botany Bay at the newly named Toyota Park for this, the 22nd clash of the Brisbane Broncos up against the Cronulla Sharks. In fact, the Broncos taking the field behind Kevin Walters, who comes back tonight. This is the 9th time these two sides have played at Toyota Park, and all the names that it was before it was called Toyota Park. And Brisbane have only won 3 from the 8 contested thus far. Walters, of course, 5 times a grand final hero. He was there for Canberra in '89 and Brisbane 4 times. The Sharks, as Phil Gould and Peter Sterling pointed out, Russell Richardson and Mitch Healy out of the team. That brings Blaine Stanley into number 7, and this man, Colin Best. 19 times he's played in the top grade for 15 tries. And they say being groomed for Andrew Ettinghausen's centre position eventually. He's on early call-up. Andrew on the sideline. What's it like down there?
Well, Ray, it's been an absolutely perfect summer's day in Sydney as we look off to the north of Toyota Park. Really, it's not perfect for football. We're told it's 27 degrees right at the moment, but I guess the players are becoming accustomed to that with the early start to the season. And I should mention the breeze too. Quite gusty at times. Will be at the backs of the Sharks in the first half, so the 40-20 kicks definitely on.
Steve Clark is the referee, and David Goner is the video referee. Brisbane running from right to left, the 1998 premiers. And Peachy handing it away for Martin Lang to take it out towards the 20-metre line. First play of the night. Now for Nathan Long. Kicking game, always important, but particularly in this first half, as Andrew said, the breeze coming with them. As Pearce throws it down for Peachy to work it across, and Graham to work across towards the Leeds Club side of the ground. Lovely conditions for football as the temperatures drop. And we're coming to you live from Toyota Park as Nathan Long is tackled on his own 40-metre line. Now for Stanley. His first touch, then to a former Bronco, Chris McKenna. And he will play out a few metres short of the halfway line. Across low, picked up by Dykes well. Graham to the right foot. And it's going straight down to Lockyer with a favourable bounce. Lockyer then met by the chase. Best left centre. Ettinghausen, of course, on the right side.
And with no Mitch Healy in the lineup tonight, plenty of responsibility on the shoulders of the number 13 there, going over the top in that tackle, Nick Graham. Natural first receiver. They'll be looking to get him involved as much as possible. Take a little bit of pressure off Blaine Stanley.
Webke playing it now, just outside the 30-metre line. Brad Thorne. We saw him down at Parramatta Park a fortnight ago in that runaway try at the end of the match. One of the memorable moments of the season thus far. Now, talking of memorable moments, how many will he supply tonight? David Peachy. He will play the ball now, just inside his own 30-metre line, on the Leagues Club side of the ground. The eastern side. And Martin Lang goes to ground. Apparently it was he and Mitch Healy that came in contact at training, and Healy out of the match through that collision. Now Graham looking at the referee, asking the question, are they lying on the tackle player too long? As the pass is ill-directed, it was made to look better than it was by Matt Rogers, and he'll play the ball about 8 metres now on his own side of the halfway. Pearce, Andrew Pearce to the halfway line now. Cronulla with 2 wins, Brisbane with 2.5 wins, and the kick has gone straight over to Wendell Saylor. Well, they're inviting the big fellow to have a run early, and it's a big run, and then a nice pass for Ben Eichen. Players left and right. He went left and picked up Walker. Walker's inside the 30-metre line. Sharks into the ground. The run was initiated by Wendell Saylor. Broken field play. Now Tallis. 15 from the line, centre ground. Walker through and away. Campion, Lockyer, Eichen. Look for Saylor to come inside. Back again for Ben Walker. Now for Kevin Walters. Short ball for Webke. And Webke put down 10 metres away from the line. Brisbane running towards the northern end of the park. Walker turning it back to the centre for Tallis. And they appear to have him held. They haven't. It's away from Prentice. It's with Brad Thorne. The crowd don't like it. They thought Tallis was well and truly held. Clark indicates 5. Long pass to the right for the boot of Ben Walker. And this will give Saylor a good jump on it. No, he doesn't contest it. He stays down. The ball goes to him, but it's been recalled. Turnover.
And Brisbane looking pretty good in possession, aren't they? Gordon Tallis he's proved very hard to pull down. The Brisbane get to this ball first and do knock it forward. I'm just wondering, with this massive breeze at their back, and both the Brisbane wingers last set of 6 stayed up for 5, whether it's worth a shot for a 40-20 early in the tackle count.
Well, Paul, an early lesson for the Sharks as well. Blaine Stanley kicking on the full to Wendell Saylor with space to move in. That should be the last time that happens this evening.
Pierce now. The Sharks have won 12 of the last 13 at home. The match they lost was to Melbourne in daylight conditions. Their nighttime record is 12 and 15. 12 of their last 15 at nighttime they've won. Lockyer grabbed from behind by Eddinghausen. It was an urgent tackle. To Carey. Now Tallis led the team and led them admirably in the absence of Kevin Walters. Sivanasiva. A few metres on his own side at halfway. Now Walker. Few of these players in front of him, including Campion, who's the foremost. And he stays outside the 10-metre perimeter anyway, so there's no drama. Peachy will play it.
And the first interchange of the night taken by Wayne Bennett. Dane Carlaw on for Shane Webke. Carlaw in 14.
Graham. That was Carlaw's tackle on Lang. And now Pierce, he loses it. It went backwards. Eddinghausen scoops it away quickly for Rogers. And Rogers is well taken by Tallis. He was very alert. Now they'll get a penalty.
Yeah, and a good call from the referee, Stephen Clark. Michael De Vere coming in after the tackle had been completed, trying to put the man on his back. He comes in, have a look. He has 2 or 3 goes, can't do it. Finally puts him over, Matt Rogers. And the penalty was a good one.
Last meeting of the clubs was referred to by Andrew Voss earlier, 42-20. And that, of course, was in the quarterfinals on September the 5th last year. First penalty of the night then with the home side. In front of a reasonably good crowd. It's certainly not capacity. Now they go back into the middle for Best. An inside ball. Here comes the ball out again. This time he's lost it cold.
Well, it's an ordinary mistake on the very first tackle they've got, attacking only 35 metres out. Playing in his 20th first-grade game today. Oh, was it? Gee, I've got to say, that was a very late flop. Yeah, that should have been a penalty to Cronulla.
Ben Walker coming over, Paul.
So Aiken getting back and building up momentum, running off Kevin Walters that time. This is Sivanasiva right on the halfway. And again, the ball has been raked. Penalty to the Broncos. Here it is on replay. And no doubt about it, Nick Graham going in quite unnecessarily. Just putting a hand on the ball and giving a penalty. A dumb penalty because it's put Brisbane 25 metres out on the attack. Brisbane then go onto the front foot. Carlaw, centre of the ground, inside the 20 this time. Walters off the right foot, back to the 10-metre line. Tallis got entangled. Chance now, Prudis for Walker. And across, cutting out one. Lockyer, short ball for Thorne. Thorne gets it away. De Vere gave it off. Walker handled. Then it went to Sivanasiva. He got it away. Walters is there, goes back and takes the tackle. 10 metres out, centre of the ground still. To the northern end. Walker, long pass out high for Aiken. And Aiken well taken by Colin Best. Prudis. Walker to the air. cross. They're outnumbered here, Cronulla. The ball to ground. Thorne picks it up. He's offside.
Yeah, look, a dangerous situation because they had a 3 or 4 out of the Broncos. Brad Thorne gets back in a position, and only E.T. and Matt Rogers, but they messed it up, and Thorne caught offside.
Eight and 3/4 minutes gone. The Sharks versus the Broncos. Two sides that can be expected to be at Stadium Australia at the end of the year in the finals. Oh! Sivanasiva will be called out. Let's go down to Stephen Clark.
I'm just going to put on report, all right? It was high. I was standing on the other side of it. I didn't see exactly where you hit him, but I knew it was high, just judging by his body language. Okay, so it's going on report.
Here it is. Oh, no doubt about it. It's certainly above the shoulders and at the head of Martin Lang's. Well, looking at the front on, it looked like it might have actually picked up the point of the left shoulder. Initially, the forearm, the upper arm got him across the throat. Didn't look quite as bad on the front on shot, did it? Long. 29 away. Centre ground. Daylight conditions applying. Lang, nothing wrong with him. Put him over for good measure. Campion together with Webke. Now for the right of the ground they come with Dykes and Eddinghausen. Inside ball, McKenna. He loses it. It would, I think, go forward. And Clark, waiting to play an advantage, then ruled the ball was propelled forward and will give Brisbane the advantage with the loose head and feed to the scrum.
Yeah, nice backline play using McKenna, who has been in sparkling form for the Sharks. They hit the gap there, but there's a good tackle. And he tried to offload.
Three handling errors in the game so far. Earlier today, Auckland and Newcastle played an 18-all draw. 18-all, Auckland and Newcastle. That ball travelled forward. And Newcastle's problems across the Tasman continue. They got belted in round 25 last year.
Yeah, they got beaten by 40, and you see a forward pass. And today they were down 18-12 when they scored in the last 30 seconds, and Andrew Johns plotted the goal for the draw.
18 points all. So that's going to put a bit of value into pick the winners, eh? Live, we're coming to you on the wide world of sports, exclusive to the 9 network from Toyota Park. The Sharks on the attack now. No score on the board. Peachy across for Best, and Colin and Engadine Jr. will play the ball. Peachy onto the left of the ground for the 15, which is Sam Eismunger. Peachy lurks back on the blind side. Stanley, Madison, Rogers. They all handle. Rogers taking it to ground. Now they will be aiming it back, I would imagine, to... Oh, there's a knock on. They were lining Best and Peachy up on the right, and then getting up to play it. Matt Rogers makes a rare mistake. Did it get some help?
Not at all, Ray. Referee in the touch judge spot on. It just came out. And a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes by the Sharks in possession. I've got to say, I thought they were a bit flat against Parramatta last week as Eichen tries to get outside Best. But the young centre does well. Good battle already out there between those two players.
Sailor now. Walker placed under pressure by a pressure pass from Sailor. Webke. As a result of it, they lost about 5 metres, and they're still trying to recover that ground. Carlo ran into the shoulder of Madison. Body rocked back in the confrontation. Walters inside ball, Tallis. Big fella making a habit of it. Completions. 5-8, 4-7. Sharks, Brisbane respectively. Peachy off his 20. Howard. pick him up, the little fella, and they drive him back about 8 metres. Now McKenna, taken down by Carlaw. Doesn't mind rolling his sleeves up, Carlaw. He's been quite busy since he went out there. Madison, Treesta, Peachy, a semicircular run, then a fend on Walters. Now he comes to De Vere, and De Vere puts him down. 31 away from his own line. Fair bit of effort, not a lot of gain. Graham.
Change for the FC Sharks, 20 to 11. Nathan Long, courtesy of Cronulla and Cronulla.
No score. Now, wide ball. Best. Had Howland outside him, but he was put away out there by Ben Eichen. The battle out there continues. Stanley, the kick with a lot of volume. Will go over the dead ball line, so it'll come back to the 20 for the restart. No score, 14 minutes on the wide world of sports. Rugby League of a Saturday night.
Ray, there are some teams in the competition that will get 3 and 4 players involved in a tackle and not pay much attention to the football. Not these two teams. Very, very good at making tackles, but closing the ball down. So you know if there's an offload thrown in this game, it's a fair bit of effort from the ball carrier to get one away.
Carroll is on for Brisbane. Talking of Brisbane, we go on the road next weekend to Melbourne Friday for the grand final replay, and then we go to Brisbane on Saturday night for the clash of the 97 Premier Super League versus ARL, Brisbane and Newcastle. Here's Walker getting a pass at a favourable time. That came off a Cronulla player. Lockyer ran back into traffic.
No restart from Steve Clark. So that wasn't played out by Rogers. Sidney Seaver, last tackle now.
Critis this time. To Walker, who puts a kick high into the air. The breeze working against it. And Peachy, a run around with Howland, and Howland is shut down on the right side of Brisbane's defence by Saylor. A big job over there for Colin Best tonight. Aiken and Saylor are confronting him all night. And here's a nice run from Dean Treesta. Good clearing run. Peachy says, let's capitalise on that. To the halfway, Graham. De Vere on the left of the ground for Brisbane's defence now. Eddinghausen and Paul Mellor. Gee, that's a good tackle. Carlaw was one of them, and Critis was the other. As Dykes puts in a little kick, the weight is right. Lockyer's going to bring it back. He'll make it. And Dykes leads the chase, makes the tackle on his own. Nathan Long with an assist.
Excellent play, Adam Dykes. Good kick and chase and made a solid tackle. It's nearly 20 minutes in the game. I am surprised they haven't tried that 40-20. The kicks they've done, they've only half hit them. They've gone 40, 50 and 60 metres.
Walker. Shane is on, of the Walker brothers. Both are there, Shane and Ben. Sivanasiva, who is on report for a tackle on Martin Lang. And that is Carlaw. Just beyond his own 20-metre line, 5th tackle, 20 metres gained on that set. As Ben puts in a kick, you can see the breeze, just how strong it is. The ball hits it and comes down at right angles. And Howland then was just picked up and thrown over the sideline by Saylor. Now the ball has been lost and has crumbled back.
Yes, well, they've got the ball back, Cronulla. It was a strong tackle, wasn't it, on Howland by Wendell Saylor. Desperation pass back on the inside. He was flicked over that sideline. So Benny Eichen picks it up, and then Peachy comes up with a real good tackle with the strength of Saylor. Like a sack of wheat, throws him over. And another strong tackle on Eichen by Peachy forced the ball loose.
Wendell nearly won the hammer throw with that. Here's a good kick. It's judicious. It's well weighted. It's a try. Howland has scored on the left of the ground, working off a kick from Blaine Stanley.
Great work there from the Sharks. A planned scrum-based move. Nick Graham breaking the blind side so that they can create a 3-on-2 overlap. A little kick. It looked like it might go into touch, but fortunately for the home team, they were able to control it. You can see, going the blind side, 3-on-2, the kick over the top, the try scorer onside, and the ball staying in field. That's why they play well here at home. They know which way the ball's going to bounce at Toyota Park.
It's a wonderful rugby league try, well thought out, no doubt planned by their coach John Lang, and it's come off. Look at that for a bounce. How good's that? If you're a Cronulla supporter, not so good if you're a Brisbane supporter. Enterprising play rewarded.
And how important, Paul, that tackle of David Peachey. Forcing the mistake after the try scorer here, Brett Howland, was being thrown over the sideline. They get the ball back, feed the scrum, and not even one tackle later, they get the first points of the match.
Rogers from the side. 24 metres out. Hits it low, wide. No addition. First points on the board. And scored by that man, Brett Howland. It is 4-0, the Sharks over Brisbane, as we take our first break at the 19th minute. So the fluid break has coincided with our commercial and coincided with Brett Howland's try. Beautiful kick from Blaine Stanley. The kid from Wellington joined the club in 1997 and re-signed with the club last year for a further couple of years. That's him there. He and Colin Best, who came into the side tonight, have done pretty much everything together. They both were in the under-19 Super League side in 1997, and then they were in the combined President's Cup team in 1998. There's Best, of course. He and Stanley were the late run-on replacements for the well-documented withdrawal of Richardson and Healy.
Like old times, isn't it, looking through the Cronulla lineup? You've got Matt Rogers, famous surname in the Cronulla district. Dykes is there, Madison. Players with names that have gone down in the annals of Shark history.
Live back at Toyota Park. Thank you for joining us wherever you're watching around Australia on the 9 network. We're going into Alice Springs, I'm led to believe, tonight. And of course overseas, Sky Sports working out of London, beaming the pictures through the UK, down through Europe, and of course our friends with us now in New Zealand. This is Martin Lang. Now, 17 is out there, that's Donato, and 15 is also with us now. Again, that's Sam Eyersmonger. Madison carried the famous rugby league name, doesn't it? I think Ken, from memory, played in the 73 grand final when Cronulla went down to Manly. And there he is knocking on. So we've done it again.
Good on you, Rab.
We've done it again. I think you talk about a jinx. Andrew on the sideline, take it.
Ray, interesting story here about Michael Hancock. He was only on the field for 60 seconds. He's got a bit of a history with shoulder problem, and he dislocated his shoulder. It's popped back in by the doctor, and the doctor's given him the once over and says he'll be right to return to the match.
This is De Vere now. And across to the broadcast side of the ground. Western side. Brisbane running towards Botany Bay, the northern end. Quick hands back for Carroll. Running at close quarters with the acting half. Shane Walker it is. Then Ben. Now Kevin Walters. The run around back for Ben. On the bounce for Wendell. He's on the 30-metre line. No ground to work in. And Howland goes around the legs and Best goes over the top. Walters using Tallis. He really hangs around Kevin Walters. It's not a bad practice as Kevin rolls one into the in goal. This is going to be tight. They put a foot over the dead ball line. David Peachey back to the 20. He was breathing as heavy as he could to get rid of it. The glamour fullback from Cronulla. Madison. It's going to be another great battle, isn't it, for the Australian jumper. Lockyer, Peachey, Davis to come back. The state of origin, of course, it'll be Again, another interesting battle as well. Eismunder is on the halfway line.
I know Paul just mentioned his name, Ray, but you better throw in Robbie Ross as well, despite the slow start from Melbourne.
Yeah.
He was the player of the series for mine in the State of Origin. Good kick-finding touch inside the 10. Dykes really coming into his own in the last couple of weeks, doing so in this match as well.
Thank you for that, Sterlo. Jeez, you can forget it easily, can't you? We won't forget next Friday, because he'll be on show against St. George Illawarra. That's from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Replay of the grand final. I wish them well, the Storm. They've chosen to take the game to the Melbourne Cricket Ground to take on the St. George Illawarra Dragons, who are desperately looking for form. And also coming out of Melbourne live on Thursday from the Crown Casino, the Footy Show, with guest hosts down there, Glenn Lazarus, Paul Harrigan, Sam Newman and Eddie Maguire, all in the same ring at the same time with Sterling and Borton. And Matt Sherlington is going to risk life and limb and join them live on Thursday at 9:30 in the southern capital. Will the casino be big enough for them? The panel, I mean. Webke now. Sivanasiva to the halfway line. Tallis. And a lovely ball. Kevin Walters. As Cronulla find themselves suddenly on the back foot, and Walker forces that even a bit further, but Peachy's able to get it into the field of play. Not a great deal of effort in doing so. Colin Best, a little clearing run. Paul Mellor. Tallis hangs on. Webke says, never mind about hanging on, let's put him on his back. Slams him down. Donato. The strength of the Brisbane defence. They've picked a few of these little Cronulla players up and forced them back. That hasn't translated though to the scoreboard, has it? 4-0 the Sharks. Very low score considering we've had a goodly portion of the game. Lockett. About 16 minutes of the first half to go. Takiri. Thorne over the shoulder. It'll be play on. Webke. Walters.
Just struggling a bit. Sorry, Ray. Struggling at the moment, the Broncos.
Yeah, they are, Pete. They're forwards. The forwards are looking quite sluggish right at the moment. Not hitting the line with a great deal of gusto. There's a few blokes with hands on hips out there.
Walker. Down into that bottom corner. Nice kick. Yeah. Howland had put over the dead ball line again. The ball bouncing down. And then he being out of play, bumping it over the line. Now Rogers. Spotlight is sent on the other side of the ground tonight. Penalty goes to the Sharks. Ebbinghausen and Rogers on the right side of the ground. Here's Matt. Let's watch the penalty as it's given. Hancock and Walker. And too long and interfering.
He just spoilt that, Ben Walker, because he'd done a good job coming up with the tackle on Matt Rogers. If Rogers had got on the outside of him, there were players still coming back from the restart into the defensive line for Brisbane. Lang.
Now Lang. Lang. Donato. Pierce. Suddenly, they're back in the red zone for Brisbane. Dykes drifting, turning. McKenna. 15 out, centre of the field, to the left, to the eastern side. Best. 15 tries from 19 top-grade games. Fifth tackle. To the air will they go? No, along the ground from Stanley. I saw him go to ground in back play. Nothing said about it. Must have been okay. Now Lockyer.
What a lovely piece of play there from Darren Lockyer. First of all, he positioned himself so well, picked it up on the run and got them 30 metres. What a player.
Hancock now. 40-metre line. Walters. Carroll's with him on the right. Walters threw a little dummy, then got a flick out the back. It came off a Brisbane player, went forward, and he plays the advantage to Cronulla. Correct ruling by Clark. Peachy across. Eddinghausen goes back. Now he's run into a clump of Cronulla players basking in the sunshine on the other side of the ground before Colin Best is tackled. A pack of Sharks waited for him. Lang. Brisbane's 40. Pearce. Dummy! Pearce is inside the 20-metre line. Now they hit the right side. Peachy swerves back. Peachy throwing his arms around like a trumpet cop. And over! They're in to score. Is it Blaine Stanley? Yes, it is. Blaine Stanley has scored. Wow. I thought David Peachy was a traffic policeman.
Just before you go, Pete, what happens to Nathan Long here? Bang, he gets taken out of the play. Beautiful run from Andrew Pearce. Where'd that come from?
Well, David Peachy, they came the wrong way initially. They came the right-hand side. Peachy realised the way to go was the left-hand side. And then he says, look, just run through this hole here and you'll score. And who's going to argue? Blaine Stanley won't argue.
Oh, just incredible.
He just saw that really quickly. They went the wrong way. The Broncos they had less defenders on the far side, still getting back. This is great. Look, the left hand goes out, the finger. And Blaine Stanley, well, he said, OK, I'll cop the tip. Showed some good evasion, stepping back inside. Tony Carroll, the last defender there.
You mean here, he says?
That's the place, under the black dot.
Well, it reminds me of a comment you made the other night. Either yourself or Phil Gould, you play what's in front of you.
Well, I saw a quote in the Rugby League Week the other day on David Peachy. It was from Matt Rogers, and he said, look, David Peachy is a footballer. He plays the way that you do when you're in the backyard. And I love watching those kind of players.
Well, I guess the man that just converted that try is very much the same type of footballer. 10 points to 0. The Sharks with 2 tries in the first half. We break on the wide world of sports. We're back in a moment.
Conversion successful by number 2, Matt Rogers, courtesy of Mike Sutton.
Lovely stuff, wasn't it?
Sharks 10, the Broncos score.
They battle. They put their bodies on the line, and then something like that happens.
Sharks on his 13, Nick Graham, courtesy of Ryan Waldock.
Lockyer restarts. Madison on the bring back. We are back live at the newly named Toyota Park. Home of the Cronulla Sharks, leading by 10 points to 0 against the Broncos of Brisbane, who haven't beaten them since the 1997 Super League Grand Final, which was played in front of a big crowd at ANZ Stadium. Manly were doing battle with Newcastle. And Dykes on the drift. Best straight ahead down the eastern touchline on tackle 5. From Dykes now, they spread for Stanley. And his kick is going down to Takiri. Marks it in goal, back to the 20.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that kick, what it was all about. It was too long for the Cronulla players to get there. And easy meat for Takiri, but they're looking sharp there. I think they've got plenty of pace on the Broncos. The Broncos looking quite slow, as a matter of fact, at this stage. Plenty of time left. Good run from Thorne.
Icon now. Looking on his right for Saylor, but Saylor is back here, back towards the middle of the ground. That is Sivanasiva. Saylor was just shoulder to shoulder with him. They're on the halfway line. Critis and Shane Walker, inside ball, Tallis. There he is again, Gordon. Up the middle, getting away from another. Oh, De Vere. It went forward off the hands of Tallis.
Yeah, great run, nice inside ball. That's been quite successful for them today, the Broncos, the inside balls, catching out the Cronulla Sharks. Into the forward pass there, ordinary attempted tackle. And then Tallis, nice tackle by David Peachey, forced the ball to go forward.
If there's been any danger for the Sharks in this game, it has been that inside ball to Gordon Tallis. Something that I'm sure John Lang will talk about at half-time. We're going to have to put a watch on it. Long. His own 30. Madison. Oh, he's put it down again. Second knock-on in the game for him.
A rabbit's curse.
Sivanasiva. Myxomatosis. Now, Tallis. Good chance for the Broncos here. Whippy. It's all one-on-one. Walker, Shane. Long gets him with Graham. British. Short side play. Quick hands. Oh, Ben Eichen got involved, and I don't think Kevin Walters wanted him there.
What were they trying to do here?
I think Ben Eichen, he came up on the outside, but he thought it was going to be a face pass and just put his hand out, trying to pull it away. They had it well covered, the Sharks. In fact, Brett Howland was actually looking for an intercept.
6 the handling errors. Andrew on the sideline.
Well, Madison headed off to the sideline right now. Martin Lang headed back. There's one observation that's worth following tonight, just on the Broncos' discipline in the penalty count. I know at the moment it's only 4-1 against them, but the last time they had Stephen Clark, that was 2 weeks ago against the Eels. They ended up on the wrong end of a 12-3 penalty count. And again last week with Bill Harrigan in charge against the Warriors, it was a 6-3 count. It is a problem for them early in the season.
Now Graham. Did well, going to ground, offloaded for McKenna, and he picked up a valuable 10 metres more. Lang taken down by Webke. They'll both be looking at maroon jumpers, I would imagine, in a couple of months from now.
McKenna just leaving the field, just limping off. You can see him left of screen. Got on that Eismunger coming into the game. The last 10 now. It's Pearce, who's been an unsung hero last couple of weeks, coming in for Jason Stevens.
Dykes, busy night for Adam. Now he and Stanley are both on the ground. There's been some handball, and Saylor got a ball away for Tallis. 2 Cronulla halves after the kick finished on the ground. Saylor throwing Graham away. Here's Dykes with the kick. And Stanley ran into the player opposite him. Nothing illegal that I could see. Now Prittis, Thorne, dummy half. Walters, Walker, Shane. Then Lockyer drops it on the ground. And it's a nasty ball, but Best is able to clean it up just inside his 30-metre line. 10-0 the Sharks, 2 tries. Howland and Stanley, with Stanley playing a major part in Howland's try, as well as scoring his own try, presented to him by David Peachey. Colin Best. Brisbane trying to slow the play the ball down as much as they can. Mellor for Peachey. Peachey coming straight across the park. Still going across the park. Now he tries to put Rogers down the line. Gee, he's up and he's at him again, Peachey. Now it's away for Dykes. And Dykes puts it on the ground. Scooped forward by the Sharks for Brisbane to play on.
Yeah, that was poor play from Andrew Eddinghausen. He had ample time to dive on the ball. It wasn't the last tackle, not desperation stakes. Very close to a forward pass there to Kevin Walters inside the final 5.
Prittis. Ordinary play the ball caused a waste of a tackle. Hancock. The lone survivor, isn't he, Paul?
From 88. Yes.
Sailor, stand offload, Prittis across and on from Campion to Ben Aiken. A flick back for Campion. Campion to the 20. Got the ball away. Hands in the air. Away goes Peachy for the Sharks. He's coming across towards the western touchline. Now he goes back towards the eastern side, the Leagues Club side of the ground. He's almost like the untouchable man. They let him run across the park. Eventually unloading for Graham to play it.
He's on an unusual contract with the Sharks, Ray David Peachy. Gets paid by the kilometre.
By the metre, yeah.
He's one of the highest paid players in the game.
Dykes to the line. A dummy. An effort to do it himself that time. Treaster, the jumper out. Mellor, can he unload? No. Takes the tackle. That's the Brisbane 40. Dykes, centre. Graham, little stabbing kick. And it's going dead. I hesitated to say that because the further it went, it seemed the weight was very good from Nick Graham. Not one of the renowned Sharks kickers. It's a beautiful little drop punt, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, with half-time fast approaching, use the break to head down and check out Footy Plus merchandising.
I think of the way they played the Brisbane Broncos, their best ever half of football. They're probably happy to be only 10 behind, and they'll have that strong breeze at their backs in the second half when their kickers such as Kevy Walters and the likes can. And Ben Aiken, he's got a big boot on him. They can get some ground, and Wendell's look pretty good. You must say Wendell, Darren Lockett and Gordon Tallis, they're the players most likely to make breaks, and they need to get more of the football.
Halfway line. Carroll, the right arm free, was looking for Lockyer, taking the tackle. Walters, now the kick, and to Carey and De Vere, the chasers, very close to being offside. Clark got a call from his touch judge, indicating the negative applied. Donato. Lang loses it. Chance in front of half-time coming for Brisbane. Scrum on the 20-metre line, centre of the ground.
A little bonus here for the Broncos. Just under 60 seconds to put that try on the board that they desperately need.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it might have got some help.
No doubt about it.
Sharks on the 12, Chris McKenna, courtesy of Menai Marketplace.
Play at the back of the scrum. Aiken couldn't control it. He's having a very ordinary end of the first half, Benny Aiken. Things haven't gone his way.
Well, once again, it's a good Sharks defence to be there. Ben looks like he had a bit of a look there. Took his eyes off the football, and that's why it went loose.
Packing as the siren sounds. Howland puts in a kick. Lockyer was up in the line. Sailor and Takiri going back. Howland is really the only chaser. And Takiri runs away, but Howland chases, brings him down. And the end of the half sees a standing reception from the Sharks supporters, loving their Saturday night of rugby league, and their team with 2 tries. Parramatta and the Cowboys on Monday night as Rogers starts the second half, and Webke is travelling back hard over towards the centre of the ground. Paul Walton and Peter Sterling in the commentary box. Special comments from Phil Gould during the year 2000, the former Sydney Roosters coach with the 9 team now, along with Paul Harrigan and Laurie Daly. To the 40-metre line, Sharks end. Tallis. He warned them, really, didn't he? With some beautiful runs off short passes inside. The Sharks are going to have to watch that. And of course the Broncos are going to have to watch this fellow, because he's at his entertaining best tonight, David Peachey, the mercurial fullback. Trista.
Yeah, he never got back on side, Kevin Campion. Good call there from Stephen Clark. And the penalty count continues to mount against the Broncos, now 5-1.
Well, it's a bad penalty to give. I mean, they've kept them in their 40 in the first 4 tackles, and now just give them a free 20-odd metres with the penalty kick, and then they're on their defence again, back deep in their own half.
Stanley with the kicking duties in lieu of Mitch Healy. Lang. Healy did not start the game, neither did Richardson. Both injured at training. Pierce. They've had an incredible season, really, the Sharks, for a club that didn't play any trial matches. They lost Stevens at training, and now they've lost another couple of stars at training. McKenna. Dangerous place to be, apparently. Through from Stanley they go. And then across from Dykes for Peachey. Peachey on for Best. Tries to get away from De Vere. Sailor there to help him. Now Peachey. Dykes. Long lofted pass. McKenna. Flick pass on the inside for Stanley. Does the same for Dykes. 12 away. Tackle 5. Stanley. That kick has come off the outside edge of the boot and allowed to bounce by both teams. The bat down has been knocked on over there by Matt Rogers, and that will be a turnover on the last tackle for Cronulla. Determined run again there.
Wow, that's a great run from Gordon Tallis. I think the captaincy that he had a couple of weeks ago has done him the world of good. I think it's matured him as a player, and he saw that situation, the need of the 20-metre run, he just produced it.
Now Webby. Thought upon by many as the #1 prop forward in the game today. Walters. Every time you see Kevin Walters running with the ball out in front of him, you suspect that Tallis won't be far away. Run by Prittis. Walters dummy half to the short side. Plenty of personnel. Ben Walker's kick. Kicked again by Walters. Recovered by Peachey. Peachey on the kick return now. Pulled down by Brad Thorne. Best.
I really like the sort of season starting to unfold for Chris McKenna. Can play out wide, but when he needs to, first off the ruck as well. Good ball skills. Martin Lang bumped 42 out from his own line.
Pictures coming to you from Toyota Park. Cronulla's home ground. Leagues Club forming the backdrop on the eastern touchline. Long. Eddinghausen was there. Dykes. Graham. He's a good kicker of the ball. Not that I've seen a lot of him, but everything has been accurate and purposeful. Lockyer making the field of play. Sailor. Into space goes the big fellow. Peachey on Sailor. Sailor is pulled down by David Peachey. Brings a roar from the crowd. But they're on the attack, the Broncos. This is Takiri to the 30-metre line. Prittis. Sivanasiva. He lost it. The pressure comes off the Cronulla side.
What a great run from Sailor. What a great tackle, though, from David Peachey. He's proven he can do everything. Not just make the breaks and pass the football, but he makes the try-saving tackles. And on the end of it, that's a bad drop there. Brisbane on the attack, trying to crawl their way back into the match.
Andrew is back from the sheds. Andrew, your half-time report.
Yeah, Ray, I can tell you the word from the Broncos dressing room. Despite the 10-0 scoreline, good tackle there, despite that 10-0 scoreline, Wayne Bennett was still quite happy with the performance. He was particularly happy with their defence. He just thought missed opportunities in the first half cost them, and probably that drop ball from Siva wouldn't have eased the anguish there. He wanted Luke Critters to try a few more runs out of dummy half in the second half, and if they were feeling the pinch, let's not waste the breeze.
Martin Lang. As the Sharks counterpunch from inside their own territory. It was a scary moment for them. McKenna, yards down the short side. Madison on, Lang off. Eismunger waits to come on. To the right of the ground, picking up Dykes, and now Peachy. Peachy beats Walters. They're chasing Peachy. He puts a kick in. And it's Lockyer who brings it away off his own line to be tackled 8 metres out. De Vere.
Ray, I'm just wondering how important that tackle on this man from David Peachy is going to be in the final Washington first game. 1-on-1, Sailor scores. But Peachy kept his head, never panicked, stayed off him, laid off him, and then moved in when the time was right. Sailor forced back in that tackle. That's a rare sight.
Repke. Critters now using Carlaw. Good run. It's hurt one of the Sharks.
It's Andrew Pearce, Ray.
Pearce put his head in the wrong place. It's a very big kick by Lockyer. It might find the line. Oh, gee, that was an inside the 40 kick that was going to be a tremendous advantage for Brisbane. And Brett Howland knew all that. There's Andrew Pearce in a bit of trouble. Now, the trainers have told Steve Clark that there's a problem with Andrew Pearce. It was this tackle on Carlaw that caused the problem for Pearce.
The Sharks would like to welcome another fantastic sponsor in Makita Power Tools. Makita is Australia's #1 power
Very
tool.
similar in many ways to the tackle attempt from David Penner last Saturday night. So with timeout, Andrew is coming from the field. We will take this break and be back with you at Toyota Park in just a minute. Well, the good news is that he's walking off, basically unaided. I thought, remember, we might have had a spinal or a neck problem. No need for that concern, obviously. The bench watches on.
Change to the Pepsi Sharks on 11, Nathan Long, courtesy of the program.
Graham put down on his own 20-metre line. Nine's Wide World of Sports from Toyota Park. Thank you for joining us. 10-0 is the score in favour of the home team. They've had the wood on Brisbane since 1997. The Sharks, as Lockyer makes a break, and he's only got the one to beat. Sailor tried it earlier. Lockyer waits for Carroll. Carroll takes the pass, and the Broncos are over for their first try.
Whatever Wayne Bennett said to his team at half-time, it's had the desired effect because they have looked a lot sharper. Plenty of dummy half running, but this was really poor execution from the Sharks, starting with the pass from dummy half, going to the wrong man. One-on-one missed tackle here on Darren Lockyer by the kicker Eddinghausen, and all of a sudden there's open spaces. 4 players in support, only Nathan Long really chasing, and a good pass from Darren Lockyer to Tony Carroll.
Great stuff from Darren Lockyer. Good on the outside of ET. They couldn't bring him down. And once he gets into open space, he glides across the park. Beautiful running style from Darren Lockyer. Sets up his support so well. And it was easy in the end for Tony Carroll. Nothing that David Peachy could do about this one. He saved one a couple of minutes ago, but not this one.
Great camera work there, just following Darren Lockyer's mindset as he's running along, looking at his support players, looking at Peachy. When do I pass?
The different running styles of Lockyer and Carroll.
And the conversion successful. So the Broncos are just 4 behind. Another look at the break. Andrew, your turn.
Well, mate, this is the best entertainment in town, and we can see players like David Peachey and Darren Lockyer in action. I think Barbara Streisand's coming to town in a few weeks. Look, I'd pay as much to see her as I would to pay to see these guys. They've been outstanding tonight. Peachey and Lockyer, two of the very best. I think that came out right, did it, Ray?
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to think about it. I'm looking at Sterling.
Well, we just worked out you've just got plenty of money, that's all, basically.
There's the judgment. We know what you mean. Now Sailor. Webke forced back. The Sharks are doing to Brisbane what Brisbane did to the Sharks earlier on. We've seen a couple of the big runners, the big hitters, forced back in defence, and now they lose the ball. The Broncos coming off their own end. This is a chance for the Sharks. They just fell off their game there for a few moments, and you can't afford to do that against Brisbane. Now Brisbane have given them a chance to get back into harness. Here they come again. Peachey from the blind side to the open side. Eddinghausen! 22 metres out. Now Graham. Peachey looks at times as though he's got them mesmerised. Is long up the middle. Hit and spin. Madison. Oh, Tallis. Drove him into the ground like a javelin.
And Copland in the tackle too.
Now Dykes attacks. Puts a kick in. Fielded by Ben Ikin.
Been very good tonight, Ben Ikin. We haven't seen him run the football a great deal, but defensively he's been excellent. Tremendous reflexes. So too Gordon Tallis, because he did not miss Tim Madison. Watch the arm come in. Bang.
Tallis again. Look at him go. He's in marvellous form, Gordon Tallis. Brisbane again topping it up in an identical position to where they did about 60 seconds back. We've got a blood bin. By the way, the Optus Australian Track and Field Championships currently in progress at Stadium Australia. And you'll see that tonight at 11:20 and tomorrow night at 10:45. It's 11:20 tonight. Shervington, Gainsford, Taylor, Freeman, Hewitt, Johnson. All the big names tonight at 11:20, the Optus Australian Championships.
Back it off, Broncos. Back it off, Broncos.
Did you ever run on them, Paul? Now, Peachey across Eddinghausen. There's an example of what Sterlo was talking about. Ikin, his defence has been exemplary. His hands weren't kind to him a couple of times in the first half. Now Stanley, this is Dykes, and hitting it hard out wide. It's the Sharks with Mellor. Dykes then looks for a runner. Pearce is back on. 5 metres from the line, 10-6.
Numbers
the
on the
Cronulla
left,
Sharks leading.
Come left.
Stanley. 15 is Eismunger. Now, wide and deep, and Peachey does it himself. Lockyer might get it back. Lockyer does get it back. Oh, Peachey took the gamble. It didn't pay off. Now they lose the ball. Clark's head backwards. Thorne coming off. Carroll going on for the Broncos. Webke.
Yeah, they've done the right thing here, the Sharks, where they allowed an offload there. When there's a mistake on their... Oh, Talent still going. They could stiff something there, the Sharks. A few mistakes from the Broncos, finding it tough to get out of their own end, but they've done well through Prittis. Now Hancock.
Hancock almost up to the halfway line. Quick play the ball. The Sharks are on the back foot at the moment, and it's Sivan Asiva who kicks it and puts it over the sideline. Just 30 metres away from the Sharks line. 10-6. 54 minutes gone. Nines Wide World of Sports, the exclusive commercial rights to league in the year 2000, telecasting live across the nation tonight with this top-of-the-table clash. Next Friday, Melbourne, St George Illawarra at the MCG. Next Saturday night, Brisbane, Newcastle. What a game that will be. Brisbane, Newcastle at ANZ. Lang loses the ball. Carroll turns defence into attack and can't unload. 30-metre line though. Walker from one to the other. And then Aiken. The angle for Sailor. They hang on grimly. He shakes them away. And then Sailor is put down by a combination of four Sharks. Aiken a dummy half. The play the ball was quick. Now Sivanasiva. 5 from the line. The Sharks are going to have to lift now to repel them. Aiken, 2 metres from the line. Shane Walker. Long ball for Brother Ben. Now for Kevin. Short pass for Campion. Walters. Chance for Shane Walker again, a metre from the line. The defence holding for Cronulla. Can it hold one more time? Now, Lockyer. Lockyer comes back. Ben Walker. The ball would have come forward off his hands. And Howland comes away for Cronulla. Howland, he's into open space. Sailor's after him. Howland's in front by 2. Sailor can't get him. Sailor won't get him. Howland scores. 90 metres. The little whippet. The big Alsatian was after him, but the whippet was too strong.
Well, he looked like catching him for a moment there, but what a run from Howland. Let's just have a look. They make a tackle on him, but they fall off. And Howland makes a decision, well, I can play on. They'll make a tackle here. Is he held? No, Ben Walker doesn't hold on to him. And Howland, well, he just puts a move on Sivanasiva. Big Wendell. I'd be running quick if Wendell was chasing me too. I'd find an extra couple of metres. But Howland, he goes 95 at a time where the Broncos looked as though they were going to score.
Yeah, the Broncos look pretty good there. Great defence from the Sharks then to hold them out on that 6. Not often a side can do that, attacking from 10 metres out, hold the Broncos out. But ineffectual defence, it's been the story of the night for the Broncos. A nice wide foot step and away he goes. Beautiful stuff there. Wendell's pretty quick for a big fella. But Howland, he is a little bit quicker. Good stuff there.
Well, the crowd absolutely delighted with that. Rogers from the sideline, it's away. It is 14-6. Goliath was chasing David Andrew, and this is how it looked.
You've just got to ask the question, who is the quickest player at this Sharks club? I know that John Lang thinks that this bloke right here, Brett Howland, is among one of the fastest players he's ever seen. So that includes all the speedsters John Lang played with and all the players he's seen since he took up coaching. But wouldn't you just love to see it, a match race between the likes of Rogers, the injured Russell Richardson and Brett Howland? It'd be some sort of race.
Wendell turned off at the 10-metre mark. He fired the turbos at the halfway mark. Sterling was trying to get on it even.
No, Wendell's saving himself for the 200, Ray.
You were trying to get on it even, Snorky. Now put your money up. Now, Lang. 21 away from his own line. Great moment in this match. One of the memorable moments so far in the season. Shannon Donato. McKenna got an awful ball from Andrew Pearce, and then they bang him down. Donato. Away for Dykes, and a left-footed kick from Adam. Beautifully placed. The weight looks okay too. Wendell will have to bring it back. Here come the Sharks! And they've got the big bloke, but he's back in the field of play. Big effort, Sailor, particularly after that 90-metre run. Thorne.
And this is where the Sharks want to allow quick play the ball. They want to eat up as many tackles against the Broncos as they can. That's 3 now.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's match day sponsor is
14-6. 3 tries to 1 now to the home side. Sivanasiva, no it's not, it's Takiri. Lockyer keeping it down, and Howland lets it go. It wasn't going to get inside the 20. So he's taking a drinks break. We'll do the same. Head for the fridge, head for the kettle, whatever you like. We'll break and be back with you in just a little while on the White World. 14-6 then, after an hour. The destroyers, Peachy and Howland, just exchanging a word. My problem as I look at the Sharks is, what difference is there between this Cronulla side and the sides we've seen over the last couple of years? What are they going to do to make that extra step up the ladder?
Well, they don't have to do much, do they, Ray? They'll believe that they should have at least been in a grand final last season, and I probably tend to agree. They were in a position to do so. They'll all be 12 months more experienced. I think they've got a little bit more depth there now.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Pepsi Mermaids during the drink break.
And maybe there's been an evening out in the competition which will help them.
Back at Toyota Park. Channel 9's Rugby League Saturday Night Live.
Changing the Pepsi Sharks on 14.
And the Sharks by 14-6. McKenna it is who plays it. And Madison, who had some worrying moments in the first half. Now Nathan Long. A few metres from the halfway mark. Gee, the pass from dummy half to runner must have been just on the ad line. Pearce played it. Dykes with it. Across for Colin Best. And that's a lovely tackle by Ben Eichen. Adam Dykes. They're going right across for Stanley to kick. And the chase is on for Rogers. Lockyer is grounded in goal. The crowd getting their money's worth. The line dropout will see the Sharks come back.
Yeah, lovely kick and the perfect chase. The 14-6 lead, quite handy. Lockyer looked up, and there was 4 of them there. In the end, E.T. and Matty Rogers came up with the tackle on that occasion. Good work, E.T.
They're relishing kicking into the breeze, aren't they? You can see that they're just doing a little bit more oomph on the kick, knowing that it's not going to go dead. Little dusty restart from Darren Lockyer straight to Best, 30 out.
So tackle number 1 is affected on the 20-metre line on Colin Best. Donato to the 10. Second play. Stanley for Dykes on play 3. McKenna. 8 metres out, third tackle's gone. Donato inside ball for Pearce. Ball goes to ground, Broncos with an advantage rule.
That's a shame for Andrew Pearce, because he's been one of the Sharks' best tonight. He's made some great metres up the middle, and big, strong, tough. He's played a good game.
13-11 the errors. Brisbane making just that couple more. Penalty count. 5-1 against Brisbane. So referee Clark, he certainly comes out of it again looking as though he's got a problem with Brisbane. I don't mean a bias, don't get me wrong, but he sees more wrongs with Brisbane than most referees. That's out on the full from Lockyer. This will be very handy field position for Cronulla. Not often will this champion fullback make an error like that. Madison. Nathan Long. Then McKenna. McKenna's away. Inside the 20-metre line. Donato. Through from Stanley for Dykes, and Peachy comes in. Kevin Walters read him coming. Mellor angling back at 45 degrees towards the upright. Tackled by Webke. Now for Stanley. Across for Colin Best, and Best is tackled. 5 gone. Dykes wants the ball for the bomb, I suspect. No, goes for the grubber. Came off the Broncos. They didn't play at it. And it made no difference. They finished up with it anyway.
Turning to the bench, Sharks on 13, Nick Graham, courtesy of Brian and Bob.
This game far from over, even though 3 tries to 1. 14 to 6 is quite catchable.
And a replacement made by Brisbane with number 19 Sean Berrigan coming into the game. Does look as though Tony Carroll will be the man replaced. Shane Walker tackled on the last tackle, 25 out from his own line. Lockyer can get a better one away now.
Long run back for David Peachy. Interesting prelude to this game today. The Newtown Jets playing in First Division trialled against the Cronulla Sharks, and the Jets went down 32 to 26. It was lovely to see the Blue Bags back in action. Madison, Cole Murphy, their coach, played in the 1981 Grand Final, I think, against Hugh Stella. Eddinghausen. From Stanley, it's with Dykes. Now it's McKenna. I don't think their momentum is dropping off. If anything, it's increasing. Now Peachy's kick is an awful kick.
See, that was dangerous there. I cannot understand why Andrew Eddinghausen didn't catch that football. He had time. And then would have had time to get another kick in. The bounce could have gone anywhere.
Berrigan is on. Walters. Berrigan's the type of player that can spark the Broncos. Little dummy half runs. Hancock. Ben Walker. Shane Walker. McKenna and Eismunger getting the job done. And Lockyer. That kick from Darren's not good either. Although he turned Matt Rogers inside out. Rogers comes away just beyond his own 30-metre line. To the blind for Lang. Almost to the halfway line. Good metres from Martin Lang. Now Madison had it, lost it, got it back in again. Donato waits at the 40-metre line. Broncos in. Eismunger, bumping run, straight into Berrigan. Campion makes an assist. Donato for Graham. And Graham is inside the 30-metre line on tackle 5. Stanley, Dykes with a left-footed kick. Coming back. And the breeze blowing it down. The bat is on. Oh! Peachy catches it. Puts a kick on it. Lockyer will be forced in goal.
Well, magic stuff there from Peachy. I'm just wondering whether he should have run for the corner. There's a bit of space there. I think he kicked it before he actually looked up. With the ball, of course, in this breeze, it's holding up nicely. And a nice tap back. All the teams, they practiced that right now. Look at Peachy. No one there. Although Saylor was right next to him. In the end, they'll get another set of 6. If he takes off, I wonder if he gets there. Maybe Saylor gets him.
Yeah, I think Wendell gets him. Well, he's got the football this time. The wind's in the sails at the moment for the Sharks.
So they attack inside the Brisbane 20-metre line. They've got it exactly where they want it. Donato, Stanley switches it. Graham taken down. Madison, third play.
Oh, he tried to cop a pass there. If he found the mark, it might have been try time, but it's another mistake. Too many in Tim Madison tonight.
That's a shame because he has played pretty well in the second half. He's run very strongly. He's beaten quite a few defenders and then tried to do the impossible. If he can just curb that enthusiasm, he'll be a very good player. He is anyway, Tim Madison, along with Martin Lang. They've really come good this second half.
The Sharks, one-on-one. Dykes taken to ground. Best. Now Eismunger. Personnel on the right. They used the blind side originally. Colin Best is put down. They've got to go to the right sooner or later. Here they are now. And it's Dykes. Graham. Eddinghausen lurking. Rogers is with it. Peachy on his outside. Peachy. Dykes. Across for Martin Lang. 5 tackles gone. Adjacent to the uprights. Back for Dykes. Now across for Graham. Peachy through the legs. Rogers kicks. It's into the end goal. I don't know whether Treesa's onside. It's been forced by Brisbane. Another line dropout. I'd like to see where Treesta was in relation to Rogers, the kicker. Andrew Voss sideline.
Look, I just watch this again as we see the Sharks. This could have been game, set and match right here, and the skills of David Peachy again. But let's watch the next line dropout for Darren Lockyer. To be quite honest, his last 2 have been shockers. With a strong breeze at his back, he hasn't got over the 30-metre mark.
He had some problems. He hasn't got them now. He's kicked it with the breeze, 60 metres.
Good one, Bossy.
He's got Big Bertha out there.
Lang. Mellor. Graham. Still they work the short. Oh! Treesta ran into the shoulder of Tallis. Stanley, not knocked on, didn't hit the ground. Run around. Dykes is with it. Inside ball. Best is tackled. Dykes to the air. They looked okay. Little knock on there at the end of the 6th or the 5th tackle, and Brisbane with the turnover.
A little bit sloppy by the Sharks there, but all this tackling the Broncos are doing must be taking up plenty of juice.
The Sharks need to be careful, but because the Broncos can go the length. Now all of a sudden they can make a half bust, get a pass away, and they've got players who can go 70 or 80 metres.
Harvey Howard in 17 to the halfway mark. 14-6 the Sharks. Thorne lofting a pass over. Maybe promoting something. Heavy tackle on the fullback. Now Carroll. Put away on the Cronulla 40-metre line. Campion. Lockyer stayed up close to the ruck. Beat a couple. Got a pass away. Howard's pass. Lofted over. The crowd said it was forward. Now Brad Thorne. He sets his sights for the line. He's over. Brad Thorne puts it down behind the uprights. Did he ground the ball? Did he ground the ball? There's a big question.
There is a bit of doubt on this, Ray.
Big question mark, I think, as to where his legs were when if he did ground it.
And I also wonder whether they'll look back on a forward pass in the build-up to that. Now, there's a few things that I would imagine the video referee is about to look at. And firstly, let's have a look if he gets downward pressure on this football. He's dropped it.
Yeah. We don't have to go back to the forward pass then. Mind you, looking at that replay, I don't think Steve Clark was interested in the forward pass that the crowd called for it. He lost the ball, and you can see the anguish as he makes a second attempt to get his fingers on it. has to be some form of downward pressure.
No, he's dropped it.
Almost certainly the try will be denied. Red light confirming that. Brad will be eating himself up.
Well, they constructed it so well. Some nice passing. I think that was okay. That one's fine. Some ordinary defence out there once again. Dummy's taken all over the place. He just had to put it down anywhere. Let's give some credit to the chaser. I think it was Paul McNicholas who kept him honest, and in the end, the try was disallowed.
McNicholas, incidentally, is on, taking the place of Madison. And Howard is on for Hancock. So the Sharks, they breathe a big sigh as the Thorne try is disallowed. Nathan Long.
That's the danger of playing against the Broncos. You can dominate for a 10-15 minute period. If you don't get points, they can put something on you immediately. And Thorne looked as though he'd done that. As Sailor puts a bit of pressure on the man we're talking about. We're keeping it alive.
Takiri. Thorne again. Long hits him hard. McKenna was underneath. Now Carroll, they launch another attack off their 30-metre line. Centre of the ground. Ben Walker, in for Campion, across for De Vere. Taken down by Long again. Made a valuable contribution in defence, Nathan Long. Webke. Now that tackle will be penalised. And that is, in fact, Paul McNicholas. Got him right across the mouth. Brisbane have got 6 minutes to score twice. Sivanasiva. Lockyer is out wide on the left as Walters unloads. Played by Carroll. Walters a dummy, then he tries to burrow through. Campion. Ben Walker. A grubbing kick, and did he get a hand on it, Ben Eichen?
I reckon he
Eichen has claimed the try. And Steve Clark again is going to the video referee.
I reckon this will be a try. Well done, Benny Eichen. It's been a solid game tonight. And the kick just gets over the try line for mine. He bangs his right hand down on it. Dave Peachy's behind the line by a metre. Once again, it's going to be a case of whether he forced the ball.
Here it is.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Try time. Well done, Benny Eichen.
Yeah, that took some skill, and a little bit critical of Adam Dykes there. I didn't think he showed a great deal of urgency. He just turned around and looked at David Peachy and then reacted. Eichen's actually come from behind. Now, there is time.
Well, this will make a very interesting last 4 or 5 minutes, won't it? The Sharks have probably had the running of the play all night. Now they'll find themselves maybe only 2 or 4 points in front as the try is given.
Yeah, the Sharks, they've always looked like winning this game, but they've been unable to deliver the killer blow. They just haven't put their opponents to sleep, despite a superior field position, more football. They just haven't been able to get the ball over the line, and the worrying aspect for them is that the last 2 times in the space of a couple of minutes that the Brisbane team have been down this end, they have got the ball over.
So a try for Ben Eichen. And Walker is able to convert So Cronulla, the Sharks are in front now by a mere 2 points. 14-12, Andrew.
Ray, just by chance, I was sitting just a metre away from Brad Thorne on the Broncos bench as this try was scored. It certainly has cheered him up. The Broncos have got their chance here in the last 5 minutes to exercise some demons. The demons have been the Sharks. The Sharks beat them 3 times last year, and of course in the quarterfinals as well. Broncos might just get their revenge here.
And I'm sure I can remember a few years back that the Brisbane side did win a game against Cronulla here in the last minute or so. Scored a very late try. I'm happy to have an opportunity to do the same tonight as Webke winds up.
So inside the last 5. And the Broncos coming away from their own 20-metre line through Gordon Tallis. Inside the last 4 minutes now. Played by Howard. Sivanasiva. Ben Walker down the blind with Gordon Tallis on his inside. 40-metre line. Lockout. Left foot kick over towards Sailor's wing. But Howland is underneath it safely. And Howland will play the ball back on his 10-metre line. So it's a case of steady as she goes now for the Sharks. A great run by Rogers. Johnny Lang, a concerned coach. Concern for Matt Rogers and for the scoreboard.
Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Sharks play Monday Night Football in 2 weeks' time. The Bulldogs here in Toyota Park. That's Monday the 13th of March, 7:30 p.m. Grab your ticket for the Sharks.
It was so valuable, this run. It wasn't the sort of job that Rogers is expected to do, but he put his hand up and that head has hit the ground very heavy.
Yeah, he got a bit of punishment in the tackle. The concerned father and official looks on in Steve Rogers. That'll be fine. It just hasn't been a night where the play's really gone to match wing that much. Howland's probably had a game where he's featured more, but that was a good run, as you pointed out. And I'm sure the Sharks would have appreciated, actually, that little bit of breathing space.
So inside the third last minute now with Lang playing it. McNicholas. Cronulla's 40-metre line. .39 metres on 5 tackles. 2.5 minutes to go, and Dykes has gone out on the fuller kick. It will give Brisbane one last chance.
Well, they should have been having the chance from their own end of the field, Ray. That might be the lack of experience from Mitch Healy out there. Someone had to get in position and drive at 40, 50 metres.
Ben Walker, Shane Webke, able to unload. Back for Walker, then for Sivanasiva. And they're 33 metres out from the Sharks' line. Coming up to the 78th minute now. The Broncos 2 behind. Critters. The pass away. Lockyer's pass back into no man's land. Dived on by Luke Critters again.
4 tackles gone.
Now for Ben Walker to give to Kevin Walters. And the ball goes out along the ground. Brad Thorne scoops it away for Takiri. He is cut down out there by Eddinghausen. Brad Thorne puts a kick across the ground that goes backwards. Sailor goes high. Gets it down for Lockyer. Lockyer back inside for Aiken. Aiken for Sailor. Sailor's over. Brisbane are over. And they will win the game. What a fantastic climax. And a superb try for the Broncos.
And it is a stunned Toyota Park. They cannot believe the Broncos have somehow conjured up a victory. Brad Thorne kicks the football. It's the last tackle. It goes wide. The Sharks decide not to contest it. Wendell Sailor off to Lockyer. 3 players chase him. That opens it up on the inside. Ben Aiken. A killer pass to Wendell Sailor. You can never write them off. They're not the team they were No Langer, no Renoff. They're developing into a very, very formidable outfit once again.
Oh, it's one of their greatest ever wins. Coming from behind, they haven't really been in the match all night, but they've produced a whirlwind last 10 minutes, and there wasn't much urgency from the Sharks side back on the inside. When you're leading by 2 with a couple of play, when Sailor gets the football, there's got to be some defenders there. There weren't. He had a clear passage. No one had come over. No one had dropped back and covered a fence or bother to cover up the holes in the middle. It's a great Brisbane win.
Well, Wendell Sailor appealing to the crowd with their applause. It was not forthcoming. In fact, droves of Shark supporters heading for the exits, wondering how this one got away. Leading 14-6, they're down 16-14. And Ben Walker will convert from right in front. They have not been in front at all. They've been playing catch-ups. And Walker converts to make it 20 or 18 points to 14. With only a matter of seconds remaining now. One of the incredible get-outs. This crowd is absolutely stunned, what's left of them. Now the Broncos. They're charging down that eastern touchline with Tallis. Gets it back on the inside for Carroll. And he's put away 30 metres out from the line. And Steve Clark acknowledges the siren. It is all over. Successful coach Wayne Bennett. I don't know that he thought he'd be smiling. A matter of 90 seconds ago, they were going home without any points. It's been a wonderful road trip for Brisbane. What is it now? 3 wins and a draw. The 4 matches that they had to play away from Queensland. And they are formidable. They are back.